There we go. See, look at that. We are live right now. Have you ever done a live stream before, Ben?
Uh, well, yeah, actually, I did do one, and then we got through all of it. It was fantastic, and then he forgot to actually hit record. Started, and I did two in the same day.
Very nice. Very nice. So for those, so we're streaming to a couple places. Um, we're streaming to the Done For You page. We're streaming to the Done With You group. But more than anything, this is the first of a series, a podcast series that we're putting together for Zoro 411, which is a franchise development company. It's Ben's company. And we've been working together on a lot of marketing for both Zoro 411 and the franchises that Zoro 411 creates. So we just thought it would be really cool to have the opportunity to talk once a week or so, and B, just talk about marketing and franchising because it's something we both love. So Ben, do you want to talk a little bit about your story? Just where'd you come from? What have you done? What are you into? Like all that stuff.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jason. I appreciate you setting this up. I think it's a great opportunity to talk about Zoro 411 and franchising in general. I started out just as a personal trainer. I then got the opportunity to develop my own line of health clubs. That led to me securing the global rights to the Tap Out brand, and I launched Tap Out Fitness back in 2016. Sold over 500 locations, 11 international countries, and I was fortunate to be able to exit that in 2019, starting a franchise development company shortly after that called Zoro 411, franchisor information. We take a vested approach in companies. The first one that we did happened to be the Drip Bar. The Drip Bar is IV supplementation, and it started in 2016. I started going to it actively in 2017, but in 2019, I partnered with the founders. We developed the Drip Bar franchise system and have been growing it ever since. And now we have 15 locations open as of today. We have another 50 being developed this year to be open. And we've pre-sold over 430 locations to be developed over the next 5 or so years. And just really excited how it's been going.
So that was 50, right? 50?
Yep, 50 plus.
Yep. So this is the Drip Bar. Let's see. Yep. So the Drip Bar has a lot of locations, grown very, very fast. So you might even have one near you for those of you who are listening. So, and we're working on a whole brand redo and all that other stuff. So some of the stuff that we're going to end up talking through on this podcast is some franchisee experiences. What is it like to open a franchise? What success have you had in opening a franchise? All of that very cool stuff. Today, what I kind of want to get through is, let's say you have a business and you are looking to franchise, or so first of all, let's kind of approach this as a potential franchisor. Ben, what do you look for in a business that has the ability to be a franchisor?
Yeah, so I look at every business unique. I personally like looking at opportunities that have one, maybe two locations, proof of concept, and have been around for a little bit, maybe 1, 2, 3 years.
Yep.
We, as Zoro 411, aren't looking for the perfect business that has 20 locations and are just creating crazy profit. We like the opportunity to help and coach and consult to bring people there. Being in the industry for so long, we have very good relationships. If you are one of those 20 plus, we can help introduce you to the right players in the franchise development industry. That said, I like to see that there is an existing industry that we have the ability to take, franchise, create scale, and bring an industry together, such as the drip bar. It's a highly fragmented mom and pop industry. There is no true market leader, and we're able to come in as the drip bar, really professionalize it and scale it. We brought that from one location in Warwick, Rhode Island, of all locations, had very strong operations and proof of concept. But when we actually created the franchise opportunity, significantly scaled that business in both profitability and gross revenue, and we're able to then develop, as we have now 15 plus locations. But really what I'm looking for is some semblance of unit level economics that we can help, that we're being a value add partner, bringing capital and experience to the table in order to develop the franchise either fresh, or we've also worked with people that have tried franchising, and then after they've spent a lot of money, time, and energy, realize that it's a completely different business. So clients that have that expectation are really, or that experience, are really good to work with.
That makes perfect sense. And in dealing and putting together that franchise, in developing that franchise, I know you go through a couple different stages. So what does what do those stages look like from like a franchise development standpoint or a franchise rollout standpoint? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we have various stages and steps, and we can bring anybody through a full presentation. But as from a 20,000 foot view, we initially make sure that we love the business. We can see ourselves working in it. Then we learn the business. So learning the business has to do with us digging into the financials. They might not be very nice. They might be all over the place, but we work with our bookkeepers, accountants, controllers, and other CFO consultants to tie it all together, to really understand what the unit level economics are. And then we'll take that and extrapolate it into a business plan built in Excel to show how the business makes money through growth, marketing, advertising, either memberships or sales.
Mm-hmm.
We'll then take that with the operational team, create all of the data in the background, all the operating manuals, everything in order to build the franchise, and then we'll memorialize that inside a franchise disclosure document.
Mm-hmm.
So I bring the business then to our attorneys. We develop the franchise documents, and then we're able to launch the business. And launching the business comes in various forms. Not only is it continuing to perfect the initial location or the initial few locations, but it's also introducing it to the sales network, your consultants, brokers, getting into other lead gen opportunities to start bringing clients in to educate them as to what that business is that they may be interested in buying as a franchise. And then there's a bunch of other small strategies that go into all of it.
Very cool. That's awesome. And after having been to a franchise event, it is a very weird little ecosystem all into itself. And so I feel the same way about internet marketing was like 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, internet marketing was, digital advertising, like PPC was a new thing. Facebook hadn't even been created, like all of the things that we know now. Right. It was like Web 2.0 was a big thing where you could go and vote on things. Like you could vote on a news article or whatever. Yeah. And when I was going to those events 10, 12 years ago, it felt like a little club, so very few people knew about internet marketing at the time. And literally we went to an event in Philadelphia, and I told you, it feels like it did way back then. It's just it's a much more evolved space, but it still is a very small group of people who understand franchising very intimately, So It's which was just intriguing to me. So let's talk about Drip Bar in and of itself. Well, actually, how do you want to talk about Drip Bar? Drip Bar, the individual locations. So the franchisees of Drip Bar, what makes a good franchisee?
Yeah, so a good franchisee is going to really appreciate and have love for the business. Our strongest franchisees really understand the business and how we're growing it. One of our taglines is cellular health. So we want franchisees that really understand what that means, emulates it, and understands the business. So yeah, that's really the franchisees that we're bringing in. We also have quite a few franchisees that own other existing franchise concepts. So all in all, it's people that understand and appreciate the business and how we're helping customers, but also it's a great business model because it's a recurring business model. People can see how it can easily scale. It's a very good complement to those who already have a portfolio of franchise-based companies because it's low employee count, it's high revenue, high profit margins, and it's all about scale. So franchisees that understand membership acquisition or even come from the health club world are a great fit.
That's awesome. That makes sense. So I know some franchises are more operator based and some franchises are more like business opportunity based. So Drip Bar kind of sounds like it's a good mix between the two. You can operate or you can treat it as an investment.
Yep. This whole business has been built to be a semi-absentee business. So one, you don't need to be a doctor or a nurse to own this medical-based business. We've built out all of the infrastructure for your corporate practice of medicine nationally, your medical malpractice coverage, not only at the brick and mortar store, but if you choose to do mobile at locations, your medical malpractice is covered as well. We have all of the pharmacy information. Everything is done for franchisees. So again, you don't need to be a doctor or a nurse in order to operate it. And then when you're in the business on a day-to-day, if you're not a nurse and you're not doing the IVs, really the only thing for a franchisee to do on site would be to help with the front desk. And typically that's not a good ROI for owners that are investing their time and energy. They want to be more of a master planner and a CEO, getting out into the community, talking to people, getting involved in that way in order to bring more clients through the front door and allowing their staff to handle it. But we have the full gamut. We have some franchisees that are on site 2 to 3 hours a week. We have other franchisees that are there 30 to 40 hours a week. Both are great. There's not a significant discrepancy one way or another on revenue potential.
It's just personal preference.
Yep, really. Just personal preference.
It makes total sense. Let's see. Is there anything else you want to cover as it relates to Drip Bar?
Well, I think just as an industry, holistically, as an industry, because this ties into really what we look for a franchise concept to franchise is defining the industry. So we have our Zoro 411 team has a lot of experience in the health and fitness and wellness section. So looking at the parallels is really neat. So a company like Drip Bar, to me, is where the fitness industry was 20, 25 years ago. When we were talking about the Web 2.0 and franchising. It's highly, highly fragmented, full of mom and pop locations, just like fitness was. And then the big franchise companies came in, Planet Fitness, Curves and such, and then Orange Theory more recently, and really professionalized an entire industry, did a roll-up of the industry, increased the revenue per location and per square foot to overall increase the profitability. But it also enhanced the member experience.
Yep.
So with that past experience that I and our team have, we're really wrapping that up into Drip Bar, growing it in multiple verticals. Traditional, being 1,000 to 1,500 square feet, is going to be our core, but we are growing in lots of non-traditional ways, like inside doctor, dentist, chiropractic facilities, health clubs, cruise ships, hotels, and one of our main goals is getting into airports over the next few years. So really excited about being able to grow in multiple verticals.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. I really don't have any additional questions.
Sure.
Is there some, you want to talk about anything else as it relates to Zoro 411? I know the plans for this podcast moving forward are going to be pulling some franchisees in. We're going to talk to them about, their experience in franchising. What else are we going to cover? We're going to do some biz dev stuff, right? So
biz dev and other brands. So not only are we developing Drip Bar, we are developing a concept called Brake Squad, which is mobile brake repair. It fits a different persona franchisee. It costs less. It's a man in a truck to grow and develop. It's mobile brake repair. So we're really excited to be able to launch that one. We just did in January. Yep, you can see Brake Squad. That's Joe right there. We're redoing the website. We're adding the Own a Brake Squad and that whole educational experience. So that's more of a start from the ground floor opportunity. Just like we launched Drip Bar with one location, now we have 430 plus. Brake Squad currently has one, and we're excited about the speedy growth of that business as well. So I think overall, Zoro 411 is great opportunity. I guess one thing that I would throw out there as caution is Zoro 411 or me. We have a tendency of overwhelming operators. So, a lot of times you get what you wish for. You wanted scale, you wanted growth. When it happens, sometimes it's
chaotic.
Sometimes it's scary. We've done it a few times, and we're going to continue to do it. And we're really excited about bringing on more brands that we can overwhelm, or let's call it exceed expectations.
It's very cool. Very cool. I think it's probably a good place to wrap up. I mean, so if you have any questions that are related to franchising, go to Zoro411.com. Then will get you taken care of there. We're going to be doing this probably weekly on Wednesdays at this time. So 1 p.m. Eastern time block. All of the shows are going. So now that we have a first show, everything's going to be thrown up on Apple, all the podcast sites and all that. Anything related to franchising, we can talk about it. We can do some Q&A. We can do some any of that. So I think that's about it. So
perfect. I think that's a good start.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you so much, Ben. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for everything, Jason.
Yep. Talk to you soon.
Definitely. Thank you.
Bye.